never win.
I absolutely
we would never
agree
win.
with you. Leslie Marshall is joining us as well, radio show, talk show host, and also a contributor to us here at Fox. We've been talking here about the prospect of a brokered convention. Is your money on that, Leslie?
You know, my money is more on Donald Trump running as an independent because, Trish, I think you'll appreciate this as a mom.
For you.
No. I know it might be great for me necessarily, but I'm fearful that may happen on the left on my side as well. Trish, because you're a mom, I think you'll appreciate this. I have a 7- and 8-year-old, and when they were younger and toddlers, and I'd be at a place like Target, and they didn't get their way, they would have a tantrum. And Donald Trump, I'm sorry, in my opinion, is much like a toddler, and he's having a tantrum about what's happened in Colorado and with these delegates.
Yeah,
when it doesn't go his way, he gets mad at the party and the establishment and constantly threatens to run as an independent, and I wouldn't put it past him to do so.
Well, okay, you say you wouldn't put it past him, but let's not forget, one hopes, I mean, he is a businessman who has made billions of dollars, that there's some rationality behind what he's doing somewhere. And, you know, if he can't win as an independent, why would he engage in that kind of suicide mission, Leslie?
Because I don't think this is just about winning. I have talked to so many people, Republicans and Democrats, who agree that this may have even started out with his friends over a drink, like a practical joke. Hey, you know what? I could run for president and get pretty far. And I think what happened is he got farther than perhaps he ever thought he would. And then all of a sudden, the machine, that ego, that beast, if you will, needs to be fed. I don't think Donald Trump wanted to be president, but I think now he doesn't necessarily want to be president. He wants things to go his way. And if Republicans don't do it his way, he'll do something to throw a wrench in the game.
Well, that would be interesting to see, and something certainly we'll watch. Leslie Brown, I'm going to see you guys in a little bit, but I want to talk some more about this contested convention. President Obama coming to Hillary Clinton's aid over the weekend, telling Fox News Sunday host Chris Wallace that she did not jeopardize national security by using her private email server. Take a listen to him here.
There's classified and then there's classified. There's stuff that is really top secret, and there's stuff that is being presented to the president or the Secretary of State that you might not want on the transom or going out over the wire, but is basically stuff that you could get in open source.
Yeah, of course, the State Department did release over 2,000 emails that were later deemed classified, and dozens more were labeled top secret. And now even rival Bernie Sanders is questioning her judgment.
A candidate who receives an enormous amount of money from special interests, a candidate who voted for the war in Iraq, a candidate who voted for virtually every disastrous trade policy, which have cost us millions of jobs. Well, you know what? Maybe her judgment is not quite as high as it should be.
All right, our political panel is back for some analysis for us. Leslie Marshall and Brad Blakeman. Brad, starting with you. You know, I watched what the president said, and I wasn't really surprised by his defense of her. I mean, what's he going to say, right? But at the same time, do you think at all he might be starting to sweat on this one? I mean, this is not exactly a gold star for his State Department to have had all this going on.
No, but it's totally improper for a president. He's a lawyer. He knows better. And by the way, he might be a material witness in this case. Why? Because his emails are caught up in this as well. And there could have been classified materials passed in an unclassified manner between the president and Secretary Clinton. So here we have a situation where a material witness is tampering with the system, obstructing justice. So who do you think runs the Justice Department? The President of the United States as part of the executive branch.
It definitely seems like there's a big conflict of interest on this one.
Yeah, something smells.
Leslie, is there any way to make this less impartial, less appearance of a conflict?
Well, first of all, I think this is a stretch to say this is obstruction of justice, although I do agree the president should have responded, well, let's see how the investigation plays out. That I would agree with. But with regard to partiality or impartiality, I think it just comes down to, does 2 + 2 = 4? Is carelessness or stupidity or recklessness, these are adjectives that have been used about this, criminal? And what the president is saying is what we've heard. He's also saying something that I think most Americans know. Nobody's going to send out an email, we're going to take out bin Laden Tuesday at 4 p.m., delete after reading. And I think most of us know that, and that's not just here, but
there was
throughout the world with allies and others.
There was classified information
after the fact
in those emails. And, you know, let's not forget how easy it is that, you know, if you if you send something along, you know, or forward something along, I mean, we live in an environment where computers are getting hacked every day, Brad. I mean, it's fortunate, and we don't really know what people were able to potentially see or not see, but we know our allies and enemies alike are all trying to spy on us 24/7. So doesn't that, you know, breed or some kind of sense of responsibility if you're Secretary of State to safeguard all this stuff with a big lock and key? Brad.
She's under obligation as a matter of law to do just that. And she didn't do it by her own admission. Yeah, she's stupid. There's no question about what she did is stupid, but it's also possibly criminal. She set this up for her own benefit. We had a government system. She chose not to use it. There are 2,000 emails in question. Some of them are top secret. That is a given. If she released that information, we have to presume as a matter of law that our enemies have it. China's not going to say they have it. We have to presume they have it. Why? Is because it went through an unclassified system.
You know, Leslie, this just hasn't gone away, but is it having an effect on her polling? I mean, you look at Bernie Sanders and the success he's had in some states and the pressure that's putting on her, and you combine that with what's going on with this investigation, and has it hurt her chances at winning the nomination in any way, in your view?
I don't think so, because most Democrats, I think, shared the view that Senator Sanders put out there at the very beginning, in the first debate, where he said, nobody cares about your darn emails. And I think that's really for Democrats. But I don't think it helps her, certainly in a general election where people who may not be in love with her, and whether it ends up being, and it looks like it'll be Trump or Cruz who are on the Republican platform as the nominee. I don't know if it'll make them stay home or just say, hey, I got to stick with my party if they're former Republicans. But those independents, it does hurt her with regard to perception of level of trust and judgment. And so I do think that when people, and I think that's part of why people want it out there now. I've said it before, I'll say it again. If God forbid Hillary Clinton were to drop dead tomorrow, I don't think we'd hear the words emails or Benghazi again.
All right, well,
no, because she'd take it to her grave.
We'll see what happens on all of it. Thank you so much, Leslie and Brad. Good to have you guys here. All right, let's take a quick check on these markets.